Hello, welcome back to my art channel. I hope you're all doing good and you're having a great week. So in this video, I'm going to be experimenting with this Archer's watercolor paper. I recently picked up two pads of it. This is the hot press, so the smoother paper, and this is the cold press, so this is the textured paper. They're both A4 size. The paper's 300 GSM and they're 100% cotton. I picked these up from Hobbycraft here in the UK and the pads were about £19 each. They're a little bit pricey, but I've been running out, so I had to get some more and I thought I've kind of been wanting to try it. I've heard good things, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just give it a go. And what I thought I would do is make some kind of watercolor abstract mixed media pieces, and then I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces and use them to decorate these art supply boxes. These are just some craft boxes that I purchased from a shop called The Range here in the UK, and I've been using them to house my art supplies that I want to be easily accessible. These are some gouache paints. The Neocolor 2 box has tempera paint sticks in it now, because they're they're easy to use when you don't have much time and they dry quickly. So they're on my desk so I can use them when I want to grab for them. And the smaller box has some soft pastels that I want to use more. And the idea of this video, I thought if you're anything like me, I have a lot of art pieces around that they've been bigger experiments and I've cut them up into smaller pieces. And sometimes you don't know what to do with them. So I thought it might be a nice idea. You could either decorate and personalize your art supply boxes if you have any, or you could even use them to decorate gift boxes. You know, when you're giving gifts to family and friends, like jewelry and things like that, you could decorate your own gift boxes. So I'm going to use cold press and hot press Arches paper and some mixed media. So I'm just going to get set up. So I thought I would use some paints from my Kuretake Gansai Tambi sets. I just pulled out the Art Nouveau set and the 48 set, and I'm going to just, pull some colours. Like I said, I'm going to use a page from each of the paper just to kind of try it out and get a feel for what it's like, really, in a really low pressure, just kind of experimental fun way. I will probably use some Tim Holtz Distress ink sprays and some acrylic paint and some stencils, and just have a quick play around just to really get a feel for the paper and, just to create a fun project and to decorate my art supply boxes. So I've gone and got set up. I've sped the video up because this video is going to be extremely long otherwise. So I'm going to start on the cold press paper first to try it out, and I've picked my colours. I picked some from the 48 set. I wanted to go with dark blue theme for this piece. I've picked 50 malachite, 64 ultramarine, 62 turquoise blue, 68 blue grey deep, 66 Prussian blue, and 67 indigo. And I've got this butterfly, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner. It's just for inspiration, really. I thought I might add it onto one of the boxes. I might not, but I was just inspired by the colours, really. So I thought I might do a like night sky vibe, because I'm decorating these boxes because I want to use them more in the evenings, and I just want to feel inspired to grab for them more and more, that kind of thing. I thought I would go for a kind of nighttime, dreamy kind of vibe. So I thought I'd just cover the page in loads of blue tones and see where we end up. And then I'll just go with it and see how it turns out, really. So yeah, this is the cold press paper. Really enjoying the paper. It feels lovely to work on. I'm loving how you can see that granulation with some of the darker colours, and just really enjoying having a play around on the paper. So I let that piece dry and I've pulled out the hot press paper this time, and I'm just wetting the paper. So this time I'm also adding an addition of 38 Imperial Violet. I just fancied mixing up slightly and adding a bit of violet because I just thought it was missing something. And I also was not loving the whole block colour vibe. Although there was different shades of blue, I just really missed my negative space. So I'm just playing around with composition here and just, being really experimental and playing around really with the colours and just getting a feel for the paper. I must say I'm really enjoying the hot press paper, but surprisingly, I really like the cold press as well. They're both really nice. Um, so I'm just kind of enjoying having a bit of a play, really. The idea is to use mixed media with this as well. So I'm not getting caught up on composition or anything like that. I'm just going really intuitively, just having a nice play around with materials, just experimenting and seeing where we end up. So I've just let them dry. So I've got a nice kind of baseline of a few different tonal values in the watercolor, nice dreamy effect, which is what I wanted. This is the hot press version. I really loved the hot press paper. I really like the smooth paper, and it's really nice and soft as it's 100% cotton. I really like some of the effects, and the cold press paper was excellent as well. Really highly rate the paper, to be honest, on first go. So I'm now going to be going in with a bit of mixed media and just trying to add some texture. I've chosen pumice stone and Victorian velvet. They're distressed oxide sprays by Tim Holtz, and I'm also going to use a little bit of, it's called abandoned coral, just a little pop of orange. Well, it's like a pinky orange, and I'm just going to go over both of them and just give them a little bit of a spritz with some of these colours, just to have a bit of a play around. I also I'm going to go in with some stenciling, and I just really lighten them up value wise, and yeah, just go over with some white acrylic and some stencils and just try and create some nice texture and some nice effects. And I'm just having a play around, really. So I let those pieces dry, and then I went through and I just looked for areas that I liked, and I've cut some smaller pieces out of them that I thought would be nice on the art supply boxes. This is the first one. I really like the composition and the colours, and I like that it's got a little bit of texture. So I'm just trying them out, looking to see how they would look on the lids and just checking that I've cut them the right size and just, see if I'm happy with them. This is another piece that I really liked. I just thought it had some really interesting colours, textures, and really kind of minimalistic composition, but there was something about them I just really liked, and I thought, well, if you like them, just go for that. They've got that effect where I would just want to grab for the boxes and just kind of like touch them, and it would make me want to use the boxes, and that's what it was all about for me. So now I've chosen my paintings that I'm going to decorate them with. I'm now just going to go and paint the lids and the base of the boxes. I'm just using some gesso mixed with a little bit of acrylic white paint. I go over them about 3 times, and I also decide to leave them white. I really like the grainy, gritty feel of the gesso, and I just liked the simplicity of them, really. And I just kind of wanted them to have like a shabby chic vibe. So my boxes are now dry, and the next stage, I was thinking it might look nice to add a little bit of gold leaf around the edges of the box lid, just to give it that nice kind of framed feeling. And also I thought if this would be used as an idea for making gift boxes for people, it would be a really nice special touch just to add a little bit of gold leaf. So I'm going to give that a try. I'm just trying to decide if I want gold leaf, copper leaf, or silver leaf to be my border, and I end up going for the silver. So I'm just going to now show you how I would apply the adhesive. So to apply my gold leaf, I have this gilding adhesive glue. Mine's very old and it's really kind of congealed at the bottom, so I'm just trying to sort that out a bit. I've just chucked a little bit of water in there, just smushed it around a little bit, and I'm trying to get it to move. I'm just hoping that I'm going to have enough. But anyway, so you just put a little bit in the bottom of your cup or your bowl or whatever you're going to mix your glue in, and then just add in about 10 to 20% of water. Then what you do is grab a brush or something to apply the glue with, and then put it on the area that you want your gold leaf to adhere to. So in my case, I'm just going to go round each of the edges of my 3 box lids and do a general border around the outside. because my artworks are cut to size, I've left a little bit of space around the edge just to have, well, it will show a really kind of subtle line of gold leaf just around the edges to frame my artwork. And I'm just going to repeat that for all 3 of these boxes. Once you've applied the adhesive to the area you want to be covered with the gold leaf, you then want to leave it for about 20 minutes to an hour, depending on the area you have covered. I've only covered a small area and I end up leaving it for half an hour just because I haven't used much of the glue. So generally, if you touch the area after about half an hour, you want it to be tacky but not wet, and that should be when it's ready to apply the gold leaf. So I've let that dry for about half an hour, and I'm now just grabbing a sheet of the silver leaf and placing it over the area that I'd adhered the glue to. It's very flimsy and very delicate, the silver leaf, so it's very hard to be really precise. But I've just covered the area and I'm just using my fingers just to make sure that I've got the areas covered, especially around those edges where you can, it's easy to miss bits. If you're going to use your hands, I would definitely recommend using gloves, as it's extremely messy and your hands do get a bit sticky, so be careful with that. I'm going over with this brush that came with the gilding glue. It was part of a set, and I'm just brushing away all of the area that I applied the gold leaf to. And I'm going to repeat that process for all 3 of these lids. I'm just showing you with this first one, but as it's extremely messy, I'm just going to take the other 2 outside and just get that done so that it doesn't go all over the carpet. So this is them finished. Well, I've brushed off the excess silver leaf and this is where they are at the minute. Quite happy with how they've turned out. All I have to do is kind of tidy up the edges and then glue the artwork on the top. So that's what I'm going to do next. So it's the next morning. Here are the 3 box lids with the pieces all stuck on. What I did is I put some weight on them overnight. I just put some books on top of them to make sure that the paper was properly stuck down, and that seemed to work a treat. They're stuck down really well. I'm really happy with them so far. I also tidied up the edges and I just applied another coat of gesso around the edge to tidy that up and just make a cleaner line along the edge. I'm probably going to need a few more coats of white because it's some of the stray silver leaf is showing through slightly, but I'm not too bothered, to be honest. I also decided to paint the inside. I was just enjoying that the boxes were looking all pretty, and I thought, oh, I might as well go the whole hog and paint the insides. So I just used acrylic and I picked some complementary colours. I just went for a light lilac, a dark bluish purple, and a green gold. And now for the fun part, filling them back up and organising them all again with the art supplies. So that's the art supply boxes all decorated, all loaded back up with art supplies and ready to go and make some more lovely artwork. I hope you enjoyed watching these art supply boxes come to life, and would really recommend giving it a go. It's a really fun activity and a really nice way of personalising your art supplies. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great week and hope to catch you soon. Thanks. Bye.